In August 1939, Adolf Hitler placed the Leibstandard SS Adolf Hitler, later SS Division Leibstandard, and the SSVT under the operational command of the High Command of the German Army. The unit's performance during the invasion of Poland raised doubts over the combat effectiveness of the SSVT. Himmler insisted that the SSVT should be allowed to fight in its own formations under its own commanders, while the OKW tried to have the SSVT disbanded altogether. Hitler was unwilling to upset either the army or Heinrich Himmler, and chose a third path. He ordered that the SSVT form its own divisions, but that the divisions would be under army command. In October 1939, the SSVT regiments Deutschland, Germania, and Der Führer were organized into the SSVT division with Paul Hauser, a former army officer, as commander. In May 1940, the Der Führer regiment was detached from the division and relocated near the Dutch border, with the remainder of the SSVT division behind the line in Münster, awaiting the order to invade the Netherlands. The regiment and LSSAH participated in the ground invasion of the Netherlands, which began on the 10th of May. An NCO in Der Führer's 3rd Battalion, Oberscharführer Ludwig Keplinger, became the first Waffen-SS recipient of the Knight's Cross, awarded for leading a patrol over the ruined bridge at Ijsel and taking Fort Westervoort by surprise. On the following day, the rest of the SSVT division crossed into the Netherlands, participating in the drive for the Dutch Central Front and Rotterdam, which they reached on the 12th of May. After that city had been captured, the SSVT division, along with other German formations, was sent to mop up the remaining French-Dutch force holding out in the area of Zeeland and the islands of Walcheren and South Beveland. On the 17th of May, the Deutschland regiment successfully made an opposed crossing of the Slodum from east to west, a feat attempted 4 years later by elements of the 2nd Canadian Division and the 52nd Lowland Division during the Battle of the Scheldt. After the fighting in the Netherlands ended, the SSVT division was transferred to France. On the 24th of May, the LSSAH, along with the SSVT division, were positioned to hold the perimeter around Dunkirk and reduce the size of the pocket containing the encircled British Expeditionary Force and French forces. Patrol from the SSVT division crossed the canal at St. Venant, but was destroyed by British armor. A larger force from the SSVT division then crossed the canal and formed a bridgehead at St. Venant, 30 miles from Dunkirk. On the following day, British forces attacked St. Venant, forcing the SSVT division to retreat and relinquish ground. On the 26th of May, the German advance resumed. On the 27th of May, Regiment Deutschland of the SSVT division reached the Allied defensive line on the Ley River at Merville. They forced a bridgehead across the river and waited for the SS division Totenkopf to arrive to cover their flank. What arrived first was a unit of British tanks, which penetrated their position. The SSVT managed to hold on against the British tank force, which got to within 15 feet of Commander Felix Steiner's position. Only the arrival of the Totenkopf Panzerjäger platoon saved the Regiment Deutschland from being destroyed and their bridgehead lost. By the 30th of May, most of the remaining Allied forces had been pushed back into Dunkirk, where they were evacuated by sea to England. The SSVT division next took part in the drive towards Paris. After the Battle of France, the SSVT was officially renamed the Waffen-SS in July 1940. In December 1940, the Germania regiment was removed from the SSVT division and used to form the cadre of a new division, SS Division Germania. By the start of 1941, the division was renamed Reich, and Germania was renamed as SS Division WWII. In April 1941, Germany invaded Yugoslavia and Greece. The LSSAH and Das Reich were attached to separate Army Panzer Corps. Fritz Klingenberg, company commander in Das Reich, led his men across Yugoslavia to the capital, Belgrade, where a small group in the vanguard accepted the surrender of the city on the 13th of April. A few days later, Yugoslavia surrendered. For the invasion of the Soviet Union, Das Reich fought under Army Group Center, taking part in the Battle of Yelnya near Smolensk. It was then in the spearhead of Operation Typhoon aimed at the capture of the Soviet capital. By the time the division took part in the Battle of Moscow, it had lost 60% of its combat strength. It was further reduced in the Soviet winter counteroffensive. For example, the Der Führer regiment was down to 35 men out of the 2,000 that had started the campaign in June. The division was mauled. By February 1942, it had lost 10,690 men. By mid-1942, the division was pulled out of the fighting line and sent to the west to refit as a Panzer Grenadier division. In January 1943, the division was transferred back from France to the Eastern Front. There it participated in the fighting around Kharkov. Here the unit engaged in some heavy fighting against 1st Guards Cavalry Corps, among other units. Here the unit engaged in some heavy fighting against 1st Guards Cavalry Corps, among other units. Thereafter, it was one of 3 SS divisions which made up the 2 SS Panzer Corps, which took part in the Battle of Kursk that summer. It was pulled out of the battle along with the other SS divisions when the offensive was discontinued, giving the strategic initiative to the Red Army. The Battle of Kursk was the first time that a German strategic offensive was halted before it could break through enemy defenses and penetrate to its strategic depths. In October, the division was redesignated, this time as SS Panzer Division Das Reich, to reflect its complement of tanks.